Hello friends, how are you? It's a great day today here because the wind has subsided. We've been having lots of heavy wind around here, especially last night and earlier today. But anyway, where I am, the wind has subsided anyway, and hopefully where you are not having an issue with fires and those kinds of things. We did have a little bit of that in our area last night. Thank goodness there was no injuries and not a lot of property damage, I don't think, but several acres in several different places did burn last night here in Sevier County, where I live in East Tennessee. But everybody's okay, and so hopefully it's going to stay that way. But anyway, welcome. I see I've got somebody tuned in. Hey, Tiffany, hope you're doing well. We've got a brand new catalog that just started a few days ago, and I am super excited to show off the cover photo product that we have, and that is, here it is behind me. Hopefully you guys can see it. This is our brand new deluxe air fryer and oven, and I am just so excited about this thing. We have been using it a little bit. I'm just sort of going at it slowly so I can learn all the particulars, all the ways that you can use this thing, because it can do a lot of stuff. Hey Debbie, my sister consultant over in North Carolina, how are you? I see I got Terry's out there, Gladys. Hello friends. But I'm so excited about this thing, and we have been using it. We started off, what day did I get this? I've only had it a few days. But anyway, the day that it came, we opened it up, got it out. I got rid of my older one. It's sitting over here on the floor looking all lonely. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. But anyway, we do have our new deluxe air fryer and oven. It has a regular little oven inside. That's the top part. And I'm just going to, let's just get started. I want to show it to you. And then we're actually going to use it. We're going to make our recipe using this tonight. So anyway, it's got two doors. You know, the old one we had one door that you opened. We have two now. The top one is actually for the oven part, and I'm just going to open that up, and let me see if it'll let me turn the light on. I think I actually have to start it, but I'll show you it again with the light on, but maybe it's pretty bright in here. But we do have, this is a little oven. It has, both sides have a crumb catcher underneath that comes out very easily. And I just cleaned, I did have some crumbs on here because we've been making toast in here. That was the first thing we made, was some toast the other morning. But that is your crumb catcher. It makes it super easy to keep everything nice and clean. It does have a wire rack like this. You can use this in this part in the oven, or you can use it in the lower section, which is our air fryer. But anyway, the cool thing about this is if I just want to use the oven, I can do that. I can bake a little thing, anything that fits in here. We have a lot of other products from Pepper Chef that we can use with this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you this one, because this one is a little stone. I know many of you love your stoneware, and this is a little stone, square stone. It's not little, it's actually a fairly good size stone, and it will fit right in here. It's perfect for pizzas or any other type of food that you want to bake on your stone, and it just slides right in there. And your door closes. So there you go. That's one way that you can use the oven. Now we're going to be using the oven tonight, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But let's go ahead and look at the bottom door. The bottom door is your air fryer part, and so it has, I've actually got, this pan comes with it. This is sort of a drip pan, but you can also cook in here. It's like a little sheet pan, okay? So you can do biscuits or whatever on this. But you also have, in the bottom level, you have two of these mesh trays, I guess you would call them, screens. So you can lay your food directly on this. If you've got, let's say you got some chicken wings, or what's something else we like to cook in the air fryer, French fries, anything like that you can stick on here. And we have two of those, two levels. And so you can cook with those, with food on both. You can swap them out. And as I mentioned earlier, we also do have another crumb catcher, just like I showed you earlier. I'm having trouble getting that out of here. I've already pulled that one out, so I've already shown you that one. But it's just like the one in the top. See, I bet I can get it out if I pull this out first. My husband may have put this in on the wrong level. Oh well, we'll get that out in a minute. But that's our crumb catcher down there, and it really does make it easy to keep the bottom of it clean. Let's open this one. show you. There's that crumb catcher. It looks just like this one that's in the bottom. All right. So another cool feature of this is I can actually open. Let's see if I can figure out how we do this. You can open both doors at the same time. So you can cook in the upper level and in the bottom level at the same time. And to make things even easier for us, let's say, for instance, I'm cooking two different things that one thing takes 15 minutes to cook, the other one takes 30 minutes to cook. And if I'm cooking in the oven, it takes less time maybe, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. But we have a button here that's called the sync finish, so that you can set this up, and both of your entrees or whatever you're making, both of your food items will be done at the same time. Now, how cool is that? So, you know, that's one of the hardest things I know when I was learning how to cook, is try to get your meal to be done at the same time. So you don't know how excited I am about using this. So let's get started, and we're actually going to cook something tonight using the oven section. And the fun thing about this is too, when you are ready to start your meal or your dish, whatever you're doing, you press the power button. There's a big power button right down here. You just press it, and notice it says, "Let's get cooking." It comes up a little message at the top, "Let's get cooking," all right? And then you have all your options. The bottom section, of course, is for the air fryer. I'm not going to be using the air fryer tonight. I'm going to be using the oven. So I'm going to press the little button up here that says top, and it switches over to the commands that are at the top. You have a custom setting. You also have toast, bagel, pizza. You just have a bake setting. You have a stone bake if you're using one of our stones. You have a broil, and you have a reheat. So you've got all of those choices. And guess what we're going to be making tonight? We're going to make some pizza, okay? So I'm just going to turn that right now to our pizza setting. And you see, I don't know if you can see that here, but the word pizza is flashing. Then I'm going to press the button again. And it's giving me the temperature, which is 425 degrees, and it also has a preset time of 11 minutes. Well, I am making a recipe from our Season's Best, and it happens to be hot honey pepperoni pizza. It's actually an appetizer. We're going to have it for our meal tonight, though. So, you know, I like to eat appetizers for my meal. What difference does it make, right? So, but I'm looking at the recipe time, and it says to choose the pizza setting and to set it on 8 minutes. It's only going to take 8 minutes. So I'm going to use my little dial down here, and I'm going to turn it back to 8. The 8 is flashing. And so when you use the oven, it does have a little preheat time. So that's why we're going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to go ahead and push that, and preheat comes up, and the oven is on, and it is preheating. So we need to get our food ready now, right? So we're going to get started with our hot honey pepperoni pizzas that we're going to have for dinner. And we're going to be using this other pan that you can purchase to use with this. It can be used in, like I said, in either section, either the air fryer or the oven. And it is a metal pizza pan. I think you can see that pretty well. It does have a flat edge, which that gives you something a little easier to grip to pull it out of your oven. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to grate up a little bit of cheese, and I'm going to slide my pan over here out of the way until I'm ready for it. And I'm going to grate a little bit of pepperoni cheese, listen to me, mozzarella cheese. Oh, and that reminds me, I've got to grab my pepperonis. I will be right back. I forgot them. My main ingredient I didn't have ready, but we've got our pepperonis right here. But let's go ahead now and get our cheese grated. We're going to grate up about 4 ounces of mozzarella. Can't have a good pizza without mozzarella cheese. And I'm going to be using my coarse grater. Take my knife here and get this open the rest of the way. All right, so I'm just going to grate this real quick. You don't want to get your cheese out too early, because especially mozzarella cheese gets soft really quickly. So make sure that you wait until the last minute to get that cheese out before you grate. Makes it lots easier. Now, you might be thinking, well, where's the crust? I'm excited to show you what we're using for our crust, because this recipe calls for you to use some flatbread. How many of you like flatbread? I really do like it. You can buy it at the store. It's sometimes called, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Naam bread, N-A-A-M, Naam, but it's just a flatbread. But I actually made some today using our new flatbread mix. So we do have a new item in our pantry section called flatbread, and it was super, super easy to make. You use the mix, and you can mix it up in your stand mixer if you have one with the dough hook, if you have a mixer that has a dough hook, or you can do it by hand, either one. Might take just a little bit longer if you do it by hand. But basically, you add your mix in, and you add some milk. It calls for whole milk. I used what I had on hand, which was 2%. It worked fine. A couple of spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, and some oil. I used olive oil. I'm sure you can use whatever you have on hand. All right, so we've got our cheese ready. But let me grab my bread over here so that you can see how nice this turned out. So we've got several pieces of it. And it's still actually warm. I made it an hour or so ago. But you make your dough, you roll it out, and then you brown it in a skillet. And it was super easy. It only takes about a minute or two on each side. And so there's about 6 of these. I'm going to probably freeze 3 of them, but we're going to be using 3 for our pizza tonight. So let me make some space over here. Now my oven has already preheated. Wow, that was fast. And it says add food. So we'll be ready to do that in just a minute. So let's get our pan back over here and make some room. So slide my cheese over. And we're going to go ahead and put our flatbread out here. We'll use that big piece right there. Now remember, flatbread can be any shape or size. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to try to find 3 pieces that will fit on here relatively easy. I believe those will work. Let's try turning that one a different way. There we go. Now, our sauce is just going to be some marinara sauce. Actually, I think I used this on spaghetti or something. I had a little bit left. And so this is just some leftover spaghetti sauce that I had in the fridge. Takes about a half a cup. So I'm just going to pour that into my measuring cup because we're going to mix another new item that we have in our pantry section. That's about a half a cup of sauce. And this other new item is called Crunchy Garlic Crisp. And I will have to say, I believe I have tried this before because I'm thinking that this was introduced to us in our Taste Buds subscriptions that we used to have. So it's adds a little bit of heat, a little bit of garlic flavor, but we're going to put in a couple of teaspoons of this into our sauce. So let me put this over here where you can see. Hopefully you can see. Cheese is kind of in the way. So we're going to put 2 teaspoons of this in. And we're just going to mix that up in our sauce, our marinara. All right. And let's see, this little thing, we're going to mix that together. So far easy, right? Just a few ingredients. And honestly, guys, you can buy your flatbread if you want to, but I have a feeling I'm going to be loading up on this flatbread mix because it is wonderful and it's so easy to do. All right, so we've got our sauce mixed up. We're going to just spread some of this sauce now on our flatbreads. Just going to kind of divide it up. And I think this is going to be so yummy. I love to make pizza anyway. I don't know about you guys. We love pizza. We love to go out for pizza, but I also really like making it at home. I think I like making it at home even better. And this, like I said, could be used. You can cut these pieces in half and have about 6 servings of this if you want it. Or, you know, if you're having it for dinner, you're going to want a whole piece yourself, I'm sure, at least. I'm just going to divide the rest of this up here real quick. You don't want to waste any of this goodness. All right, we've got lots of sauce on there. After the sauce, we're going to add some cheese. And of course, we're going to want a lot of cheese on here. That's what makes your pizza, isn't it? All that yummy cheese. Hope you guys can see me. Let me adjust that just a little bit. You probably noticed I've got my camera turned around backwards from the way we usually are. I'm usually got you facing my stove, but I have moved my cart around so that you guys could see the oven up close. All right, a little more cheese. Then we're going to add some pepperoni on. And then the last thing we're going to be putting on is we're going to add a little bit more cheese, but it's some ricotta cheese. How many of you have ever used that when you cook? I typically use ricotta when I am making lasagna, but this is going to go on top of our pizzas. All right, pepperoni next. We're going to do about 4 pepperoni on each one. Just going to spread them around. Hopefully we might get even 5 on this, or 4 on this one instead of 3. There we go. Get another 1 or 2 on here. There we go. All right. So far, so good. We got 3 nice little pizzas ready. Now, ricotta cheese, you'll find it in the section, usually kind of near the cottage cheese at your store, if you've never bought it before. And it looks like it's just a soft, creamy cheese. And I'm going to use my small scoop to just scoop some of this out. And we're going to put about, probably about 4 or 5 little blobs of this on. Little dabs. You don't want it to be too big, but this is just going to add some more cheesy goodness to your pizza. Come on there, stay on there. One of my worst things I do when I make pizza is I put too much stuff on it. But I think this is going to be just about right. We'll put a little bit more right there. And a little bit over here on this one. And then we're going to pop it into the oven for about 8 minutes. 1 more little blob. There we go. That is looking so good. All right, what do you think? Now, we're not done with these pizzas, but it's time to put them in and let them bake. And I don't know if you can see this over here, but let me raise the camera back up. And over here on the side, of course, it would be backwards to you, it says add food. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to pick up our pizza pan. Check that out. And we're going for the top door because that is our oven. And we're going to put that right in there. There we go. And close the door. And we hit the start button. And our countdown begins. 8 minutes in the little oven at the top. Now notice this part down here that's our air fryer. If you're just joining me, this is our new Deluxe air fryer and oven. We're using the top part tonight, and in a week or so when I get this mastered a little bit, we'll use both, and so we'll hit the sync button so that we can see how that works out. Let me see, I've got a few comments out here. Charlotte says, looks yummy. Yes, I think it does too, Charlotte. Debbie, yes, I liked it too, if I remember correctly. This new seasoning, got to spill it. I'm pretty sure that it came to be through our Taste Buds subscriptions because I remember using it. I don't remember what the recipe was, but I remember I did like it. Okay, let's see who else is on here. Let me see if I can scroll. Yes, let's see here. I still got some folks watching. Good. Thank you all so much for joining me. I've been so excited all day because we're going to be using this. And, but anyway, you can probably see that it's getting red in there. It has a burner on the bottom and on the top. When you're making your pizzas, you've got to have, and when you're baking, you've got to have heat from the top and the bottom. All right, let me grab my cloth here, and I'm going to wipe up a little bit of my mess. And then there's a couple other things that we have to do. Now, this was called hot honey pepperoni pizza, right? So we're going to have a little hot honey to drizzle over the top. I have about 1 tablespoon of honey in my little measuring cup, and we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of our same crunchy garlic crisp, new seasoning. And so let's go ahead and add that in. And then I'm just going to stir that. And when the pizza comes out, we're going to just drizzle this hot honey over the top, hot from the spice that we're putting in it. And that'll give us a little kick plus a little sweetness on our pizzas. All right, that looks pretty tasty. Now let's see if there's anything else. I think there was something else I needed to do. What was it? What was it? Oh, we're going to add also a little bit of basil on top. And you know, I've been using basil from my little plant, you know, that I have. So I'm actually going to pick some of the leaves off, and we're going to do something a little different with them tonight. I usually, you know, use my scissors to chop them up. Let me see where I want to pick from. But what we're going to do tonight, I'm just going to pull off some leaves, and we're going to try rolling them up and cutting them with our knife to make it like little basil ribbons on top of our pizza. We're going to be fancy tonight. What do y'all think about that? You know, I'm not a very fancy person, but let's see if we can do this. Oh, I see Karen's out there. Karen, have you used your oven yet? And Ellie's watching me. Hey, Ellie, my neighbor over here. Glad you all have joined us. We are getting ready to have some hot honey pepperoni pizza. It's in our little new oven part of our Deluxe air fryer in the oven. We're using the top section tonight. And we're going to see how this turns out. I've been reheating things in it today. We had some fried chicken in the refrigerator, and I heated us up a couple pieces of that for lunch. Now this is very tiny leaves of basil. It's much easier if they're bigger, but I've got them stacked up, and I'm just going to kind of roll them up here. And then I'm going to cut them. We're going to slice with our knife. Let me see if you guys can see that. There we go. I'm just going to cut some real thin little ribbons, and we'll have some little basil ribbons to sprinkle over the top of our pizza. There we go. So there you can see they look just like little thin strips of basil. Let's do a few more of those. Let me grab a few more leaves. I don't know if y'all saw my little funny thing I posted before we started about the herbs. I found that today. I thought it was pretty funny. All right, so I'm just going to roll up these leaves in a long little cylinder like that. And then we're going to cut just like we did the others. You don't want to mash it too hard. Just slice through. And you don't want to do this too far in advance because basil will turn dark if you cut it way in advance or if you put it in the fridge. So you just want to do that right before your pizza's done. Now I'm looking on here, we have 3 more minutes left on our pizza. But we've got the hot honey ready, and we've got the basil ribbons cut up. And if you just joined me, I do want to show you the bread again. This was from our new Pampered Chef mix, the flatbread mix. And I have a feeling I'm going to be ordering a lot of these because it was so quick and easy. This is your flatbread. You can buy this at the grocery store, of course, over in the bread section, but you can just make all kinds of flatbread, and I love this. You can put, you can make it like a sandwich, or you can just eat it. You can put butter on it, sprinkle some salt, and I put butter and a little salt on it as soon as you get it ready. But I made this just in a little while today. All you do is you mix everything up. The mix, a little bit of milk, and a couple of spoonfuls of Greek yogurt, and a little bit of oil. Mix that together, and you can actually, it suggests using your stand mixer with the dough hook, and it gets it all nice and mixed. Now, if you don't have that, you can definitely do it by hand. It'll just take a little bit longer, but you can do that. Then you cover it, put it in an oiled bowl, and let it sit for a couple hours. And of course, you can do that, and do, just leave it because it needs to rise a little bit. It says till it's doubled. I don't think mine quite doubled, but it did puff up some. It's not like yeast bread or anything like that, but it had got a little bit bigger. Let me see what this is doing. I'm going to turn the light on because this does have a light. Let's check this out. If it will come on. There we go. And it's looking pretty good in there. So, the light will come on and stay on, or if you turn it off, I think in the last minute of cooking, the light does come on and stay on, so you can actually see what's happening in there. But getting back to the flatbread, I think it's going to be a big seller, and I think I'm really going to love it because I love this type of bread. And it will actually, you can freeze this. Now I've got 3 left because we use 3 for the pieces. I'll probably put these in the freezer, and then when I want another snack or we want to do a quick dinner, you know, you've always got cheese, you got pepperoni probably in your fridge if you make pizzas very often, and leftover sauce, and you can have something just real quick like that for a snack or for dinner. Now, I did not mention that with your Deluxe air fryer and oven, you do have, of course, a great cooking guide with all the instructions, how long to cook things, like frozen foods, how long to cook your pork, poultry, anything. And it does have some recipes in the back. I'm going to be trying this one really soon. It's a cinnamon roll bake. You use the metal pan that I showed you a few minutes ago that comes with the oven. And it's cinnamon rolls that you cut up, and you mix up some oats and butter and brown sugar and that kind of thing. It sounds yummy. So I'm going to try that. We might do that one next week. What do you think? But also in our new Season's Best that's out for the season, there's lots of recipes in here to help you get comfortable using your Deluxe air fryer and oven. Now, the really important thing is that you guys need to know when we're getting ready to take this out. Let me grab my trivet. What have I done with it? Here, hang on. We got to get the trivet over here so we can put it on our cutting board here and nothing will melt. All right, so here we go. Now everything is super hot, and another new product that I am really loving. I've already sold a pair of these. I showed them to a gentleman yesterday up in White Pine at the Senior Center, and he had to have a set of these. But these are amazing. These are wonderful oven gloves, real flexible, and you really do need this, especially for this oven. I love our other oven mitts, but they're a little bit stiffer, not as easy to get things in and out of the oven. All right, check this out, guys. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Can't wait, can't wait. So I'm going to set it down here on my trivet, and we're going to close the door up. And it's ready to go again, but I'm going to hit the X because we are done. But let me show you this. I love this because it does have the word hot here, and this is kind of flashing. It's still hot. They don't want you to forget and burn yourself because it does get warm. The top is quite hot right now, the sides, and so you need to be extra careful, and that is a great reminder. So let's finish up our pizzas. I've got some more friends out there. Let's see who else is joining. Hey, Ellie. Oh, I think I already saw you a minute ago, but I'm so glad you're still watching. Let's see. I see Kim's on there. Edith is on here. Hello, Edith. And, you know, while I'm finishing up the pizza, we're going to drizzle with that hot honey. I do want to let you know, if this oven looks amazing to you, let me tell you, it is. And I think I'm going to be using it almost every meal. But if you would like to get one of these in your kitchen, I have got a great deal for you. Here, I forgot to tilt this down so you can watch me do what I'm doing. All right. The great deal that I have for anybody that's watching, if you want this oven, you can absolutely buy one here in a few weeks. They're not for sale yet because of a shipping delay, but they will be. You'll be able to get one soon. But the best thing to do right now, if you want to get one of these and you want to get a great deal, is you need to just go ahead and message me ASAP and get on my party calendar. Now, I'd love to do a party for all of you that are watching. And it's so easy because I will come and do a cooking party if that's what you want. But you know what I'm finding? Most people want to just stay home and they want to order online. And that's perfectly okay. So all we need to do is set up a great little party for you, a little virtual party where all your friends and you can look at all the items. We have videos. There's all kinds of fun recipes. And, you know, you can look at everything. Everybody can order. And if you get at least $200, which most people are going to get way more than that because we got all these cool new products and everybody's excited about them. But you're going to get, you can get any item that you want. But if you're wanting this oven, you can get it at 60% off. And do you know how much that would knock this oven down to? $139. Is that amazing or what? Now look at this. Look at these pizzas. Hasn't taken me just right at 30 minutes, and it wouldn't have been that long if I hadn't been talking, you know. But look what a great appetizer or a meal like we're going to be having tonight. I cannot wait to try this. So anyway, if you have a need for a deluxe air fryer and oven that you can use, let me know. Or if you have your eye on any other product, maybe you need some new cookware. Maybe you had your eye on that new deluxe, or it's not brand new, but our deluxe cooking blender. That's one of my favorite things. I love that thing. And you know, or maybe it's the coffee maker. Anything that you want, you can get one item at 60% off when you host a party. And it's so easy to host. All you got to do, guys, is I set everything up. I send you a link. You click the link. You join with your cell phone number and your email. And then you just share that link with all your friends. And they do the same thing. It's super easy. Nobody has to go anywhere. Nobody has to put makeup on. Nobody even has to wear shoes. You can do a party anywhere, anytime. And so let me know if that's something that you want to do, okay? But anyway, I am ready for dinner, and I'm going to have to call Jim. He's going to be so excited when he sees these pizzas already done. But thanks so much, guys, for joining me. If I can help you with anything, if you have questions about any of your products that you have right now, if you want a catalog, let me know. Or I can send you a link to the virtual catalog, and that's just as good. So just let me know how I can help, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great night with your family, guys. See you later. Bye.